right, so Mike Johnson is the director for SDMUST, a nonprofit, and is running for Escondido City Council.
But first, if you have legal matters that involve firearms, then you need to call California firearms lawyer John Dillon, especially if you have questions about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant. Call our trusted firearms attorney, John Dillon. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws. Call 760-642-7150, or you can visit his website at dillonlawgp.com. Well, Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So you're going for the city council, huh?
Yeah, in Escondido.
In Escondido?
Yeah.
Good deal.
That's
What
where I live, so.
prompted you to do that?
So I think just fighting bad government for so long on the outside, it's gotten to the point where I think I might be more effective if I'm on the inside, to kind of bring the power back to the people instead of the other way around. I think right now there's a really big disconnect between the people and their elected representatives, especially in California, where it's real obvious, where there's this majority rule where they feel like they can just do whatever they want without any kind of backlash or repercussions. And this has been a progressive thing that's been happening over the last 30 years, and a lot of people have been running away, but I'm just going to stay and fight because it's going to follow you if you run. It's just going to go to wherever you go.
Well, you're 100% correct. And so was there any kind of what'd you do before you got it? Is this your first political attack or political job? Or
I think I ran for student council a long time ago in junior high, but I lost that one. But the other person was a lot more popular than me, so I didn't.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah, but it's fine. I think she was actually better for the job.
Was it Alicia?
Oh, no, it was.
Did you beat him out?
I didn't grow up in bougie Escondido, no.
Yeah.
Bougie Escondido?
No.
You have to have a passport to get to Escondido. Do you know
Yeah,
that?
Escondido is
You know where I grew up?
one of the oldest cities in San Diego County. It was
I know.
incorporated in 1888, so
I
it's
know.
gold rush time.
Right.
Yeah.
So SDMUST, is that your slogan?
Yeah, so SDMUST is actually, the nonprofit we started back in 2003. Originally, it was me, my brother, and a couple of my friends. I had just actually had a really rough surgery that I was recovering from. So one of the things that I used to do would be since I was a kid was, hey, let's go shooting. It's nice, it's relaxing. You're out in nature. It's kind of release some pent up frustration on some stuff. But we tried to go to the location that we normally went to, and we found out it was closed. And then we tried another location, it was closed. And then we looked into it, and the internet wasn't really useful at the time for this kind of thing. So we found that calling BLM and the sheriff and everyone else, there really weren't very many places left to go shooting even back then. So we said, hey, you know what? Why are they being closed? And the number one reason was usually like, oh, because it's too messy or the garbage. There was a couple other reasons, but primarily it was because of the mess. And I was like, well, I kind of asked, I think the ranger at the time, like, well, what if we started cleaning up? Do you think that would help keep the areas that are open to stay open? And he's like, well, it's not going to hurt. So we decided to kind of start a regular group of people that we would take out, us or new friends, friends or people, first-time shooters, kids, younger people that weren't really comfortable shooting indoors, but a lot of people, their first place they learned how to shoot was outdoors. So we're like, hey, let's continue that. So we started going out on a regular basis, going to the areas that were open on BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, not the other one. So we'd go out to the land and we would just start picking up. And it's funny, when we first went, I mean, we were filling several truck beds full of garbage at some of these local areas. And then over the years, we started kind of we didn't really publicize it too much. People just kind of found out about it. But then we started going on like Cowguns and online and just looking at forums and just inviting other people to come with us. So now we have officially we have about 350 members, I believe. But you don't pay a fee or anything. You just volunteer your time.
Yeah,
that's how
volunteer
you
your
pay.
time.
Yeah. So, if you join our email list, basically you're a member, because we just let you know when we have cleanups or there's other calls. That was how we started. But then eventually it formed into, it's not just about them shutting down public land. There's this disconnect of realizing you need to take part in your community. in your local politics, in the local lawmaking, and all of that. Because
You mean staying home and complaining isn't the answer?
no, you know,
No.
and especially as the internet started getting, you know, bigger, and all these, you know, Facebook and Instagram and everything, and MySpace even, you know, people just love to complain online, but that doesn't fix anything. You actually have to, you know, our motto is get out and get involved.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, you have to get out from behind your desk or your, you know, your computer screen and actually go out into the world. And, you know, it ties back into it's not just, you know, the public land cleanups, but it's like your city council
Sure.
or your school board, water board, you know, the board of supervisors. All of these people can do something that can shut down your ability to go to this land, which people don't realize.
And
you
they
know,
don't want you at the meetings.
Yeah, and they're used to them. They're just sitting there running through the meetings. And I remember I used to just go to the meetings just to see the crackpot show up, because there'd always be that one guy talking about how like aliens were gonna kind of switch
Right.
bodies with us and, you know, raise our water rates or something. I mean, it was always
There's always somebody.
it's always somebody, and I actually love that. And then, you know, in the open, you know, the non-agenda items. But then, you know, I noticed that most people didn't even realize that you could go to these meetings.
No.
I mean,
They don't publicize it.
no, they have a lot of these meetings are at like 9:00 on a Tuesday when most people would be at work.
Mm-hmm.
So the average working person isn't going to be able to take off work to go to the meeting. And, you know, first you have to find the agenda item that pertains to you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to find out when they're going to talk about it. And then you have to get off work, drive all, you know, if you live in one of the rural areas, you got to drive all the way downtown
Mm-hmm.
to the county administration building, for instance. And then you have to sit there and wait for them to bring up your agenda. And then they give you, you know,
A minute.
they used to give you 2 minutes, but then, you know, some recent actions by the board, which I think are going to be challenged soon, is they changed the rules where they can limit it to a minute, and they can limit the number of speakers. And they also have a no clapping rule right now where it's, you know, they changed the rules where you're not allowed to clap or cheer or anything else.
Right.
Well, you're not allowed to clap or cheer for your items, but when Nathan Fletcher is up there
Oh,
giving out awards, he
Mhm.
demands you clap, you know, or else.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he gavels you and shuts you up. But that's actually unconstitutional. Speaking of John Dillon, actually, we've been talking to him about
Yeah.
possibly going after the Board of Supervisors for that, because there's actually lots of case law that
But they don't. They know they can get away with it.
they know they can get away with it because no one challenges them.
That's
but
right.
if people get out and get involved and challenge them and use their own rules against them, then they may not get away with as
Right.
much stuff.
Well, it's we have to shine a light on situations like
Yeah.
this, and it takes guys like you and girls like, I'm sure, trying to do the same thing you're doing.
Oh, it's funny, when I started in 2003, there was maybe 4 or 5 little groups that were kind of doing what they could,
Mm-hmm.
and with very limited reach. Now there's actually some very good groups right now that focus on state legislation and local legislation. You know, there's a lot of activist groups now that we work with that are amazing. They
Well,
go,
you know who we need to hook you up with, because I've got them hooked up with gun owners San Diego County gun owners, and that's SDORC, San
Oh, yeah.
Diego Off-Road
oh
Coalition.
yeah, we actually do work with them on a lot of stuff.
on cleanups.
Yeah, on cleanups. Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. The off-road community, I mean, they're trying to do everything humanly possible
Oh,
to
I know.
shut down the trails, the deserts, you name it, and they use trash
Yep.
as an example.
And they start with one. They'll say like, okay, well, no more off-roading, and then they said no more shooting, or they go no more shooting, no more off-roading. It's all tied
And then
together.
no more camping,
and then no camping,
more walking,
no hiking.
Yeah,
You know, you can't bring your dog there anymore.
right. Well, no, and the sand sports show's going on right now up
Yeah.
in the wherever the heck it's going, and that's where my two co-hosts called in from.
Yeah.
And the groups, kind of like what your group is, they're so big and they're so strong, and they are definitely a thorn in the side of the government.
Oh, and they should be. I mean, the government. It shouldn't be easy for them to legislate.
No.
You know, it should be a debate. It should be open to the public, and that's what public meetings are. Public meetings are specifically designed for the public to participate, which includes booing and clapping, and you know,
And aren't politicians, I might have this wrong, but public servants?
yes.
What?
Oh, I know.
Oh,
That's
what a
amazing,
concept.
right?
Bet you never knew that, did you?
The concept that if you actually look at the power structure of San Diego County on this county's website, at the very top above the Board of Supervisors, the people, and then the Board of Supervisors, and then all the employees underneath.
But they don't talk about that.
No, they don't like to publicize. You have to dig pretty deep to find that, but it's there.
It's there. See,
Yeah.
and again, it's like I did a whole hour. You have, if you want to make change, voting is one way.
Oh, it's a big way, yeah.
And getting involved like you're doing is another way.
Yeah,
So,
and that's one of the things. Like, there's all these little groups out there that run on very tight, small budgets.
if a budget at all.
If at all, yeah. If they're not just paying out of your own pocket. So, I mean, if people just reach out to some of these small organizations, well, like ours,
Mhm.
and you can donate or volunteer even, just any of those things help to set back, the costs and the work. And so it's not falling on just a handful of people.
Right. But see, the left or the other group
Yeah.
has all the money they need.
And they're very well organized.
Yes.
When you go to see, the funny thing is when they have like a march of some type, it's not just one issue. It's like 20 different issues, but they all agree, let's show up on this day at this time. The people on, the more conservative end, they don't do that.
No.
They just do their own thing. And
Well, because we don't want to cause any trouble.
Yeah.
We're pretty complacent, and we just want to live our lives and raise our kids and
Go to work and pay taxes.
yeah,
go to work and pay. Well, I don't know about paying taxes, but go to
Well-
work. But the other side, and I guess the best way to do it, if they have a buzzword, the left, everybody on the left uses.
oh
it.
yeah, their marketing is actually very good.
It's a phenomenal, and that's why I think it's as hard as it is for the right to win. But you have to. I mean, you just like you can't give up.
Can't give up.
I mean, how many gun shows have you heard of in Southern California?
Not many anymore.
You might have them on podcasting, but I mean on a 50,000
Yeah,
watt
there's
station.
a handful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can't give up. You cannot stop the fight.
Well, people need to realize the man right now is the left. It's
Right.
the anti-gun, anti-rights. They want to tax your property.
Yep.
They want the working class to basically work down to their stumps,
They
and
want
then
to meter my well.
yeah.
It's my water. I paid for this property. You can't come in and put a meter on my well.
Oh yeah, and then the one of the big issues why I wanted to run as well for city council is if I can get on city council, I can get on the Sandag board where they want to do the per mile tax.
I think they should just eliminate Sandag. That'll
Yeah,
save
they
you.
should disband it.
Then you can go straight to governor. All right, we're gonna take. All right, hey, do you have trouble fitting in a workout? Yeah, of course I do. I'm very busy. Well, you got to try Leo Fit. Leo Fit is a super high-tech gym that delivers the benefits of 3 to 6 hours of traditional strength training in just 2 20-minute sessions a week. Yes, that sounds hard to believe, but because the machines are computer-controlled, they deliver the maximum weight you can safely handle by the second. That's how you get the highest possible return on your fitness investment. So, founded by Leo Hamill at the jewelry store, Leo Fit guarantees increased metabolism, strength, and fitness in every session. You will not understand how effective it is until you try. 20 minutes twice a week replaces hours of weightlifting and aerobics. You can sign up on the website at leofitlabs.com or type LeoFit in your browser for more information and sign up for a free session. And Alicia, we should send Action Jackson and put him down there to Leo Fit and see if he comes back looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I'm in. What do you think, Jackson?
Yeah, you could do all that weightlifting.
I'll cross my fingers.
Yeah. You'll look good. You'll be all buff. You'll look like Mike. All right, so we got Mike Johnson. Not that Mike. We got this Mike here.
Yeah.
Campaigning for city council in Escondido. So, by the way, you got endorsed by San Diego County
Yeah,
governor.
that's good news. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's real good news because he's not the easiest guy to make happy, let me tell you.
It's you got to get, answer the right questions, say the right things to get endorsed.
So, when's the election?
So November 8th is the election, but the mail-in ballots actually go out October 10th.
Okay.
So technically, once you get the mail-in ballot, you can just start mailing them back.
I'm not a mail-in fan.
Yeah, I'm more of a do it in
I want to
person.
go in and stare at somebody
Yeah.
when I hand them.
I like filling out little boxes.
And I also like handing them my driver's license.
Yeah,
Just to watch them get. No, they do. They get all
they
freaked
get all
out.
squirm.
Oh
They
no,
squirm.
don't give me that. Like
Yeah. You go. Oh, we don't want to know who you are.
Yeah, it's like you put a flaming bag of dog poop on their.
Yeah,
table.
I
They're
know.
like, no.
I know. I hear you. All right, so we're very optimistic at this station and this show. So you win. Okay. What does that do to the Escondido board? How does that balance as far as left and right?
So right now, the Escondido City Council there's three, it's technically a nonpartisan position, but let's be honest, there's three conservative city council members, and then the mayor and the person I'm running against they're Democrats.
Okay.
I mean, let's just be honest.
So if you get in, would you say you have the majority as conservatives?
So right now, the one other city council seat, my city council seat, and then the one I'm running for, and then the mayor is all up for election. So there's a conservative person running named Dame White. He's actually on the school board right now. He's also endorsed by San Diego County governors as well.
And what's he running for?
He's running for mayor.
Okay.
And then Joe Garcia, he's on the city council now, but he's running. So he's in one district, but with redistricting, he actually lives now in another district. So he's actually just running for his new district. So I would say he's the incumbent because he's already on the council.
Yeah, he's already on.
And then there's another person running. I don't remember. But basically, if we get it to go, if I win and Garcia gets his new seat and Dane wins his seat, then it would be pretty much all, I guess, a more conservative,
more so than it is,
more moderate to conservative city council.
Right.
So I think if we get it going that way, what that does is that allows us. Right now, we actually don't have a representative on Sandag because the mayor was on the board. The city council didn't have faith in him to do what's best for the city, so they voted him off. And then the second replacement was Consuelo Martinez. They voted that they didn't want her on it either because she was just going to do what the mayor was doing. And then Mike Morosco was the second, alternative, and the mayor wouldn't allow him to be on the board. So right now we actually have no representation in Sandag.
Wow.
Because they don't want to give it to a conservative person. So first things first,
So if the mayor who's a conservative makes it,
gets to a point who goes to Sandag.
Okay.
And then the council votes on it. So right now we have no representative. So first thing, if I get elected, first thing I want to do is I want to audit everything. I want to figure out all the revenue coming in and all the revenue going out because there's a discrepancy that I've seen from my research that, the budget that we're working with in Escondido with a population of 150,000 people is very low, for what it should be. There's a big mess of unincorporated and incorporated land that needs to be resolved that hasn't been, which would help to give us more revenue. But the biggest thing we need to do is we need a representative on Sandag.
Right. What would that do for you if you get that?
That would at least give us a voice on Sandag, and everyone that I've talked to, either Joe, Mike, or me, or even Dane, any one of us would want to go on Sandag and say we oppose the mileage tax.
Okay. Now Sandag is
the San Diego Association of Governments.
Okay.
They're the ones that decide where the Transnet money. So all the gas tax money that you've been paying for the last 30 years, they decide
where that goes.
Where that goes locally. Right now, a lot of that is. Right now, there's something called a weighted vote that Lorena Gonzalez pushed because she wanted to make sure that the union-heavy cities had more of a say on Sandag than the non-union ones. Basically, there's a
blatant as can be. Too.
Oh yeah, there's a weighted vote now where San Diego and Chula Vista, because they have more people, they can say, hey, we just do whatever we want, and the rest of you small cities, we don't really care about.
Yeah, you guys just do whatever you.
And that's what they've been doing. Even though we were promised that they would fix like the 78, the 67, the 52, like all the smaller freeways where they really need improvements. I mean, the funny thing is these smaller freeways everybody uses as backways around traffic and everything else. And people are dying on these roads because they have not made these improvements.
Well, and not only that, have you ever tried to go down the 15 and figure out what lane you're in?
Oh, I know. It's
Have you
crazy.
tried that?
Just yesterday.
Where it's all wonky.
That's enough to, well, and then it turns and goes
Well,
left and right.
A good example is like the 78 and the 5. You know, you can go to the 5 north off the 78, no problem. You have
But
to
you
go to a
can't-
stoplight to go onto the 5 south. Like
I know.
that should have been fixed like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's not like they don't have the money.
Yeah, and even the 15 and the 78 merges, they kind of did it, but they didn't complete it how
Yeah.
they were supposed to. That's a nightmare. I mean, the 67, it's supposed to be 4 lanes all the way up. It's 2 halfway.
I know.
People are flying off the road. On
I
that
know.
Freeway. It's
It's so bad, but like you said, the only way to fix it
is
is
you need better representation.
you need better representation.
And people willing to work with the other small cities and put our feet down and be like, you know what? No, we're not doing that anymore.
right.
You know, and there's a way. And if La Mesa kind of, you know, the candidate that at San Diego County gun owners backed, if she gets to stay on the city council and keep it the way it is,
Right.
and if Escondido goes the way I hope it does, and some of these other small cities stay the way they are, we can stand up to these bigger cities
Right.
and, you know, get better representation on Sandag and bring, you know, a lot of it is bringing a lot of the promises to fruition. That
Well,
we
it's
were
just what
promised.
you're promised and
Yeah.
what you deserve.
You know, we all voters approved this tax because they thought we were going to get certain
Something.
things done.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it.
Right.
Instead, they're funneling a majority of their money into transit, which only 2 to 3% of people use, and bike lanes,
Right.
which even less use.
Oh, don't even bring up bike lanes because
Yeah.
they're destroying small businesses
Well,
with
it's
bike
destroying
lanes.
small businesses. It's not fair to people with disabilities like myself. It's not fair to people with families or people with children with autism. Like, what, are you going to throw your kid on the back of a bike,
Yeah.
you know, and go pick up your groceries?
Yeah, I know.
You need to be able to park. There needs to be parking spaces
That's-
for people to park.
And what happened to all of the, there's people running around looking for buildings and businesses that aren't, don't take care of the handicapped.
Oh, yeah.
And now all of a sudden those people are gone.
Yeah, and they don't care. They pretend to care about people with
No.
disabilities and illnesses and the elderly, but they don't. You know, even look at all the shutdowns that happened recently. That hurt people with disabilities more than anybody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they don't care. They just prop them up as pawns. They like to talk about political pawns. They'll use disabled, and that's what SDMUST has actually been doing for years. Is we've been standing up for people that were underrepresented, people
Right.
with disabilities, the elderly, retired military, minority groups. That a lot of these gun laws that they pass, those are the people that get hurt the worst.
Sure.
Disproportionately.
Yeah.
Like these gun storage laws. That's one of the things, like in Escondido, the unincorporated areas of Escondido, they have to abide by the county gun storage laws that they made up. But the city of Escondido can do what the city of Escondido decides what's best.
Right. I know. I live in Alpine,
yeah,
so
Yeah.
I'm on the outskirts too. We just want to put a wall up so nobody
I
can
know.
come up
But
there.
how do you think they enforce these laws? They enforce it when they go there for like a wellness check. Or they
Right.
go there to check on someone who gets disability or IHSS or gets,
Mhm.
welfare of some sort. They send someone out there and they happen to see a gun that's out, and then they call the sheriff
Yeah.
to come,
Take it away.
charge them with a felony. Like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
They're not. Do you think they're going to like some rich house in like La Jolla or
No.
Encinitas or anything like that and being like, oh, let's crack down?
Yeah.
No,
Well, it's just, no,
They're
not in the least.
it's
and it's no different than the 87,000 what do you call it?
Oh, the armed IRS agents?
The IRS agents.
They're going to go after.
They're not
they-
going after.
They go primarily after Hispanic and Black people that
Right.
are lower income.
Right.
Those are the people they audit more than anyone else.
You don't think they're going to go to Martha's Village? Or
Yeah, they're going to go to
Martha's-
Martha's Vineyard and start cracking down
Yeah.
on, with their armed guards kicking in
And they
doors.
actually think we believe this.
No, it's they don't care about gun safety. That's what they call it now. They don't want gun safety. They want gun control. That's what it is.
Yeah, because we
they're
have
going
too
to
many
use
guns.
They're going to use armed people to go in and take your guns
Right.
and to go in and enforce all of these laws that they keep passing.
Sad.
And I'm opposed to that, and that's one of the reasons why I got the endorsement.
Right. Well, no, exactly. So how's your chances look?
I think it's pretty good. I think I'm running as an independent because they say it's nonpartisan, but I'm truly nonpartisan. I'm running as an independent. The only special interest I want to serve is the people.
Right.
And I want to bring focus back to local issues, not global issues.
Right.
Or state or
Yeah,
federal issues. I want to worry about Escondido issues, and that's it.
Right. Yeah, you just got a movie theater a few years back. That's the first time I'd seen a movie theater in Escondido.
Yeah,
I know, it's not a big
there needs
deal.
to bring a lot more business back to Escondido.
Without a shadow of a doubt. All right.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.